welcome back to Voices Rising. We're excited for this episode. What we decided to do over these next couple episodes is we wanted to kind of talk about what are the mantras that we live by? Like, what are something that, is there a tagline that would kind of identify you and who you are? And so for this episode, I'm going to kind of talk about what I've kind of lived by. Poor Rachelle's heard it in every meeting that I've ever probably done. But it is called Hope is Not a Strategy. That's really what I live by. And where that really came apparent was when my son was in grade 3. They wanted some testing done, and we went and had the testing done, and they said, well, you know, he's got a lot of issues. He's never going to graduate from high school. You need to put him on, you know, all the medication. You know, you need to just accept that this child will never write cursive. He's not going to graduate, and, you know, you've got your hands full. Well, you know, fast forward, he's 28 and he's going for his PhD. So what did they know? And I can remember at that moment feeling hopeless. I mean, I can thinking, this isn't what I planned. This is what I wanted for him. But yet in him, I saw so many great qualities. And I knew he had, you know, he struggled a bit, but there was at this core, this really great kid. But I believed my strategy was that if I exposed the things that he loved, that he was going to be successful. I was going to only expose him to things that he absolutely loved. Well, Darius loved animals. Darius loved dinosaurs. Darius loved history. And so I would choose a museum every year that we would go. It could be anywhere in the world, and we would go to that museum. We could go to the Toronto Zoo, but I was going to expose him. My strategy was that if I found his passion, I was going to be able to help him to develop the skills and the things that he needed. And to his credit, he has worked extremely hard. And, you know, as you guys know, he's doing his PhD and, you know, living his best life. And I'm just so incredibly proud because he had tenacity and he had strength. But that became a really strong mantra for me, was that you just can't hope something's going to get better in your life. You can't hope that your child gets better. You can't hope that your marriage gets better. You have to have a strategy on how you're going to do it. And certainly as I ran an organization, it was like, well, we can't hope we're going to grow the sales. What is the strategy to do that? What's the game plan to do that?
Doesn't work.
And
We're
no
going to
matter
the dollars from the money trees.
You know, every day. And we used to say that to the sales force, right?
Very
You know, I
true.
was like, you can't hope in the middle of the month that your sales are coming in. You
That's
better have a
it.
strategy to figure that out. And I think when people hear the word strategy, they get scared and they think it's some big, massive plan. No, it's just, it's maybe a plan in your book, or it's a plan that you've thought out on how you want to see this go. And strategies don't always work. Strategies don't always happen. I mean, if I look at the road from Darius from grade 3 to where he is now, he had a ton of bumps in that road, but it didn't change with my focus. We might have to alter that. So for me, that has become a very strong mantra in everything I do. Hope is not a strategy. I have people come visit for the weekend. I have a plan. I figure it out. I figure out what we're going to be eating. I figure out where we're going to be moving forward. So that's really, you know, what I resonate with. Does that resonate to you at all as far as hope being not a strategy?
Well, I've used it in keynote speeches, and I have put on quote unquote Lynda Rose.
Well, you know,
hope is not a strategy.
I mean, I'm sure I copied it from somewhere.
well, you know, when you hear like a fabulous quote like that,
that's
you
just
always recognize who it comes from.
Absolutely.
You do it the first time, you do it the second time, the third time you use it, you own it. Stop saying it's Lynda's quote.
All right.
No, but you got it from me.
I got it from you though.
Only twice.
I got that wisdom from you. Yes. But I think too, like going back to what you said about strategy, you know, people, they just mistake the planning and the strategy. You know, the planning is when you're going to do the things. The strategy is how you're going to do it and the why, right? I think too, you know, when we think about, okay, like, oh my God, I just hope this is going to happen. It's like, okay, well, the day's never going to come when the hope is going to be there. Right. So for me, I resonate with it so much because it's so true. You can't just hope things into existence. You have to put action to it. And yes, that action is scary. Yes, it's going to feel like the biggest steps, and you're going to not be in your own shoes. You're going to have like, you know, size 9 shoes when you have size 6 feet. But that's the thing that's going to give you the courage, and it's going to give you the bravery. And it's what's going to get you on the other side of the goal that you actually want. So that's really what it means to me. And, you know, for the past 6 years that I've known you, you know, when I heard you first speak that, I was like, that's it. Like, it's the truth. Like, and I think too, just with the sales background that we have, you can't hope your month is going to work out.
No.
Like, that is not going to work at all. You have to be clear with
Yeah.
that, and you really have to action it. So that's really how that resonates with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and I remember I was just listening to somebody a few days ago, and they were talking about 40-year-olds complaining, you know, maybe I'm not getting the promotion I deserve. You know, you have to sit down and really go, what am I bringing to the table? Do I have the skill sets? That's where that strategy comes in, and saying,
Yeah.
what do I need to take? We were talking, you know, about a young lady that, you know, maybe she needs to go get some certification in order
Yeah.
to be competitive, right? You have to ask yourself really what you're bringing.
Yeah.
And I think of Darius to this day. I'm so proud of him because his focus is very clear of where he's headed and the funding that he wants in order to complete his PhD. But it's been a plan that he's had, and
Yes.
he's really stayed focused on it. So you have to have some form of strategy, I think, in everything that you do. You just can't sit and
Agreed.
hope. You know, it's like trying to lose weight. You can't just hope it's going to happen.
And that's a strategy,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Because in order for the strategy to, like, people think, like, especially in corporate organizations, right? I feel like entrepreneurs, they have it down pat, truly.
You kind of have to.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or you're not going to make any money. I
That's
think.
it.
It's-
Where
yeah.
in the corporate world, strategy's thrown around like, you know, like it's laundry day, you
Yeah.
know, like it's
Yeah.
just, it's tossed here, it's tossed there, you know, like it's just, it's a buzzword, I feel, in some cases, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, we're going to use this strategy, and they can make it all slick, and it's all, you know, the shined up thing. And it's like, no, like, you're just talking about planning, bro. Like, you're not talking about strategy.
Yeah.
Like, and
Yeah.
you sit there, and if you're somebody who's like the three of us, and we coach to this, and we mentor to this, it's like, no, the strategy is completely opposite. You got to get to the planning. What is the
Yes.
plan in order for that strategy to actually work?
Yeah.
Now, strategy, there's always going to be a risk. That's what I think as well. You're always going to take a risk when it comes to strategy. Is it always going to work? No. Is it going to be a perfect
Well-
day? Never. But it is that
Yeah.
whole piece. So for me, I think there's a little bit, and this, I know this is a buzzword, but it's like, strategy, some people cringe. I think every 40-year-old millennial who is sitting at their job or their cubicle, they're probably like, oh, it's cringe. Because when you hear sometimes leadership or organizations using it, it's just this wishy-washy thing, but it's really just planning in disguise.
Yeah.
And strategy slapped on it, right? So
Well, and the other thing about strategy, because I remember, you may not remember, you and I talking about a strategy for a certain thing that I wanted to accomplish with my group of people. And I was a bit foggy. That taught me a huge lesson, because I agree with you. I don't think people understand what that means, strategy. So to begin with, you have to know where you want to go.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to know, where is it I want to go? And I can think of many. I mean, my husband and I went through a terrible time in our marriage. It's like, are we going to divorce? Are we going to not? Well, how do you fix a marriage? Well, you need to have a goal. First of all, do you want to stay together?
Yeah.
Let's get some therapy. So the strategy was, which was really just a plan to save our marriage. The strategy, so if it's a marriage, if it's a trip you're planning, if it's a goal you want, but you have to know where you want to go, first of all.
Agreed.
And then it doesn't have to be this huge thing. I was taught that a long-term goal is 6 months. You know, people think it's 5 years. No, a long-term goal is 6 months. That's a long time.
It is a long
6
time.
months.
Mhm.
Short-term can be, where do I want to be at the end of the week? If you're looking for a new job, if you want to retire, if you want to find a different job, well, what are you going to do about it this morning?
Right.
Yeah.
One of the most fascinating things I heard one of my friends in the business talk about, when she worked at, I forget what her job was, but it was outside in the corporate world before she started her own business along with me. And one of the things she had to do on a yearly basis was she had to itemize what she did for an entire week every 15 minutes. What did I do? What did
That's
we,
some pressure.
isn't it? She had to
that's
do
a
that
lot of
every
pressure.
year.
Wow.
And so she was very aware of what she was doing with her time. And so was the boss, obviously.
Yeah.
And so that, for me, that was like, what have I done in the last 30 minutes that is getting me where I want to go? And you look at it and like, what the heck kind of strategy is that? Is that plan A, B, C, or plan Z? Like, didn't go anywhere because I didn't accomplish a whole lot. So it's kind of like people thinking about, what am I passionate about? Just go to work. Your passion will be revealed. You can't sit there and think about your passion. So it's like, don't make strategy this huge thing.
Yeah.
Figure out, first of all, what is it you want to accomplish? Where is it that you want to go? It's like the two of you being, so just to be clear, and I'll make it clear. So these two ladies were corporate ladies. I was in the field with people.
Right.
So there's, there's the difference in that is like, so I was never in the corporate world. Lynda always laughs at me because I'm like, come on, we're going to do this. We're going to do it tomorrow. And she's like, really? In the corporate world, we got to analyze it. We got to study it. We got,
we got to have meetings of meetings of meetings.
Oh, that would make me nuts.
Yeah. And then we need to involve probably maybe 10 more people. And then we
You and
have to
I were
remove.
not like that.
No, we were
didn't
not
know
like that.
We would
No,
make
but-
decisions pretty quick.
Yeah. Like that's the classic corporate. It's like, oh, we're just going to throw more people at it, but then we're going to minus them.
Yeah.
And then we're going to meet again about it until we make a decision.
Yeah. Anyway, I was
true.
kind of used to like, we're doing this now.
Yeah.
But again, I think that comes from, accounting for every 15 minutes of what you were doing or every 30 minutes or whatever it was. So don't make it a big thing. It really is just, what is your strategy? My strategy is today, it could be the gratitude. It could be, I'm going to like compliment 3 people. I'm going to apply for a new job and I'm going to do that every day. And, and I don't even care what the qualifications are. If the job looks good or I think I'd like it, I'm going to apply for it. Whatever it is you're trying to accomplish or move away from, are you moving away from something or are you moving towards something?
Right.
What are you? Yeah. The other thing I want to comment on, which I think is really important, what you said, Lynda, I don't know where I read it, but I believe it to be really true. Listen to your children. Listen to who they are telling you who they are. You were brilliant when you listened to who Darius was telling you that he was. He loved animals, dinosaurs. Like, do you know how many museums she's been in? She doesn't like dinosaurs. I
think
don't know,
you've been
maybe
to
you like
every
dinosaurs
museum
now.
in Canada pretty well. Yeah.
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 Europe.
But because that's the child instinctively knowing, what he wants to do. It's that inner voice of the child. And I can use our son as an example, who's, in his mid-40s now. Growing up, he wanted to be a police officer. It's like, you don't want to be a policeman. You think, well, little boys maybe say that. Oh, no. At the age of in his 40s, he's applying to be the police force. I said, aren't you a little bit old? He said, no, they like mature people now. So that, again, that's that inner voice, that child that, he got on a different path, but that's okay. Yeah. So I really admire that. And I would advise people, if you have young children, to really listen to what they're saying, because you developed that path. You allowed that passion. You didn't try to push them.
No.
His dad was very sportive and loved sports, but you didn't push him in that direction. You let him determine. So that's a side note. For hope is not a strategy, but that's another strategy. That's another strategy of parenting.
Yeah, I mean, if I tried to say, we're going to put you in hockey and we're going to do this, I mean, he just would have not found out who he was.
That's it.
But I think the organization that we worked for, they taught us is that when you become passionate about what you do,
Yes,
you become successful. So that was the only tool that I knew to help him be the best that he could be. And he's so brilliant about it.
Yes,
I mean,
he
he
is.
just, you listen to him and he's instinctively brilliant about the things that he's passionate about. And, I remember when he was applying to work at this museum out in the West, and it was a man that he was just Philip J. Curry, who he adored, and he applied. But he put the picture of when he met Philip J. Curry when he was in grade 7 at the museum at the ROM. And, it was
That's
that
so
passion.
cool.
It was just so cool. And he got to live his dream and go work there one summer. So, I think for anybody, it's have a strategy, at least a plan, a game plan of what you want, because you can't just hope things are going to fall in your lap.
No,
I mean,
that's not going to work.
It's
if you
delusional.
live your life that way, I think there'd be some perpetual disappointments. Another saying, I got lots of these sayings. Anything and everything you want lies on the other side of your comfort zone.
That's it.
You have to step, as scary as that may be, to look for a different job or a new job. that fear is, or that unconscious discomfort feeling that you're feeling is really just your body saying, do something, like go, step out of that comfort. If you always stay where you are because you're comfortable, you're always just keep going to getting what you've got.
Well, I think I always used to say your comfort zone equals your money zone.
Oh,
yeah.
Right? If you stay where
Yes.
you're comfortable, you're never going to
Yes.
stretch yourself, grow yourself. I mean,
Yeah.
if you look at my background, not having university, not having that degree, there's no way I should have been running a company. But I always took a job that was bigger than
Yes.
me.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yes, that's
And
important.
you have to stretch yourself, but your comfort zone equals your money. And if you stay too comfortable, just at a job because that's great and it's comfortable and it's what I like, you're never going to grow out
No.
past that. You're never going to be able to develop past that. And I think
And-
comfort zone is huge. Getting out of your comfort
but
zone
I
is
would
massive.
also say it's okay if you're okay where you're at.
Absolutely.
Ooh,
If
that's a good
you
point, Marcia.
are-
Repeat that.
Yeah.
Repeat that. It's
It's okay if you're okay with where you're at.
Absolutely.
You know,
Yep.
I think our personalities are such that we strive, and we're probably a driver personalities. But, you know, I know some wonderful people that are in their 20s, in their 40s. I had a brother. He's passed away. He passed away at a young age, 56. It's young now.
He's young. Yeah, that's
yeah,
young.
it was
That's
young
young.
to pass away. He was a single man. He was married, divorced, never had any children. He was single for the last 20 years of his life. And he was diagnosed with dyslexia when he was young. My mother did anything and everything she could to get him help. But, you know, a little farming town, they, you know, and back in the 50s, 60s, they didn't know what to do with some of this dyslexic. So, you know, he quit school, barely finished grade 9. My husband, who's a chef, got him a job in a food service company washing dishes. And I learned so much from my brother Marshall, because at one point he was there for probably 10 years and they wanted him to move him up into some sort of managing the kitchen. I said, Marshall, that's such a great opportunity for you. Are you kidding me? He said, I don't want any of that responsibility. He said, I'm so happy just washing the dishes and looking at everybody else just running around with like their chickens with their head cut off. He said, no, thank you. You can have it. And I would look and I think he was so calm and he was so happy with his life. And I think, who's the crazy one here?
He's so
Yeah.
self-aware.
He was so aware of, this is I'm fine with where I am, Marcia. I don't want more. I don't need more. So that's okay if that's not what we're saying. It's like, if you've found that peace and that calm with where you are, that is fantastic, because people chase that all their lives to try and find it.
I was just going to say, like, what you said, and I think just probably thousands of women that we've worked with now for over the years, thousands, can't even count them. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But how many times has somebody come to you saying, I want this? And it's like, okay, you're working at this level. Do you know what it takes to get to even that next level? Because what you're doing now, it's not enough.
Yeah.
And you work with them 6 months later. I don't know why I'm still stuck. It's because, you know, again, it's like they're hoping for this level of success and that mastery. But it's like, no, like, you need to master what you're currently doing, but also become that 1% better every single month while you're going up to that goal.
Yeah.
And I think too, we look at a lot of people in our industry and it's like, there's a reason why you've hit this threshold, because you are actually content with where you are and you haven't been self-aware enough to admit that this is where it stops. And not that you should be content with that, but it's like, you have to look at yourself in the mirror again. And I think it's saying, okay, what do I really want?
Yeah.
Because I'm hoping for this result, but are you actually willing to do the work?
Yeah.
And are you
implement the planning and the
investing in yourself?
strategy?
I mean, I used to go
That's
back to, I mean, I used to always say,
Yeah.
you know, Danielle Steele is not going to help you get to your goal,
No.
right? So what books are
No.
you reading? What
That's it.
podcasts are you listening to? Who are you surrounding yourself by?
Yeah.
You know, we know that
That's it.
we are the 4 people that are around us represent
Yeah.
who are those people that
Yeah.
you're hanging with, right?
That's who you're going
You
to
know,
become.
yeah. And so comfort zone, And I totally agree with you because my girlfriend, Jennifer's the same. She got promoted and she went in and said, no, you can have it. I don't want to deal with the people. And she was the best
Fair
project
enough.
manager in her industry. I
Yep.
mean, she could implement anything.
Mhm.
But she knew that about herself and I really admired her.
Yes.
I think
And
that's real
great.
leadership.
hmm
Yeah.
I think that's real leadership because I also think when you share that statement, I think about a leader receiving it and sitting with it, because only the leader has to lead themselves first.
Yeah. You can't lead other
Mm,
people if you can't lead yourself.
Mhm.
And that's just it. It's like you have to be willing to lead yourself first,
Yeah.
right? And that's what I think as well. It comes down to leadership. Do you even see yourself as a leader? And most women, we are leaders. I don't care if you're, the president of a company or if you're at home with your kids, like you are leading. You're leading your household, you're leading a company, whatever that might be, you are leading yourself. And I think many women just think, oh, yeah, I'm just sitting in a cubicle or I'm just working a corporate job. It's like, no, but you can choose to be a leader. And if you are you, then you have one person. It's your job.
Yeah.
It's your responsibility to lead yourself first. So,
There's something
Yeah.
called the expectation gap, which kind of relates to
Ooh.
this a little bit.
okay.
When we start something new or we think, well, this is where I want to go in my life, there's this goal and it's way up there. Let's call it a goal for not a better example. And then here we are here. So
Mhm.
this is, it's what you were talking about. We're
Right.
doing what work are you doing?
Right.
And so we think, well, I want to go way up there. So we start out on this path where it's like, okay, I want to go up there. I want to go up there. I want to go up there. And we try a little bit. Sometimes we try hard, but then we fall back. And so what happens is instead of continuing to learn and grow to get up here, what happens is we start lowering our expectations.
That's really
And
good.
so because
Mhm.
our bodies can't cope with this,
Mhm.
so we either do this
Mhm.
or we learn and grow and we do this.
Yeah.
So that's the expectation gap. And we start lowering our expectations so that we don't have the pain of seeing that we're not getting it. And then we end up settling.
Yes.
And that's so we'll
Mhm.
settle for less. And it's like that great expectation gap. And
When it's like the lies that we tell ourselves about why we can't have something.
yeah,
And
that's
those are
another thing
huge,
we
right?
do.
I mean,
And we've
yeah.
heard
Oh.
how much of that over the years.
the lies are incredible because they become mediocrity and it
Mhm.
prevents you from going where you want to go. And,
Yep.
we start to believe those lies and then they become the reality. But, we tell ourselves so many lies about why we can't do things. And we can do anything we want to do if we're willing to step outside that comfort zone, have a bit of strategy and stretch yourself. It's to your point, it's not about these huge things. It's
No,
about over
it's little.
time. It's the little things that we do in order to stretch ourselves, that are key.
That's it.
It's absolutely key.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's what you do today is going to determine where you are
Mhm.
this time next year. Don't look for fast results. I think that's the other thing too. It's like you could see, it's like starting a new habit. You might not see the results for 30 days or
Well,
60.
That's it. Like it makes me think about consistency versus intensity,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like that whole concept, right?
yes.
It makes me think about that because when you think about people, it's like, I want to write a book. Okay, well, maybe it's just writing 300 words. You don't have to write 3 chapters today, right? So the consistency piece is probably maybe 100 words, right? The intensity is I'm going to get it done in 3 months. That's not
Yeah.
realistic, right? Or if you're looking to lose weight, it's anything. You can't just go at the speed of sound. The consistency, it's boring, it's mundane, it's monotonous, but I would much rather try and be consistent than I would go with intensity and burn out eventually because you are going
yes.
to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that
Yeah.
burnout is so thin because they start
Mhm. Mhm.
so hard, so fast.
Yes.
But it's having that discipline to get
Yeah.
yourself through it, right?
Yeah.
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 It's that burnout can be a
And
killer.
well, going through a burnout, I can tell everybody it is. I've been through it. It is. I was through it in 2017. It is not worth it.
No.
It's not worth it.
No.
So
Yeah, we've all had our burnouts, that's
we
for
have.
sure.
Yep. Absolutely. We'll talk about that too.
That's another topic.
That's a whole other topic. It's a whole other podcast.
Do you think with strategy, I'm a pen to paper person. I like
Mhm.
to, even if it's messy,
Ah,
it doesn't have to be
Yes.
pretty. I think, you know,
Mhm.
you can even put down 6 points and that can help
Mhm.
be my strategy of how I want to get
For
there. But
sure.
it doesn't have to be pretty because I think everybody thinks we have to have this,
Mhm.
you know, how do you do it? You know, how did you develop it? It's just have a plan and how am I going to adjust along the way? You know, and
Mhm.
checking yourself at that month period, then the 3-month period,
Yeah.
the 6-month period.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you look back and you go, my God, we did it. You know, we absolutely achieved it.
Absolutely.
and that's what
Yeah.
you do at 5 o'clock. That's
Yeah.
another. I'm telling you, the club is great.
The
Yeah.
club is great. The membership is
Right.
free. The
That's right.
membership is free.
But that's, once you drink your coffee and,
That's
if you
it.
do you think of one thing that you want to accomplish, one thing you're grateful for, one thing you want to
Mhm.
accomplish, one thing you want to
Mhm.
change about yourself, but then you start writing. Like, just get one of those from the dollar store, that lined paper pads and you rip
Oh,
it
yeah.
off, you
Yeah.
throw, yeah,
Mhm.
and you
Mhm.
just write and write and write.
Yeah.
What is it you want? Write
Mhm.
down. I
Yep.
guess I do write down stuff. Not so much the
Well,
gratitude thing,
we
but I
grew
write
up
that
in an
other stuff.
organization,
Yeah.
right, where they taught us the 6 most important things.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh,
You know,
right.
even,
There's
you know,
6
I think
things.
women start off, we're going to have our day, you know, I can remember going into the office going, okay, I'm going to do this today, this today, this
Mhm.
today.
Yep.
And I'm in there 10 minutes and all of a sudden, you know,
Oh,
the production line,
it
you know,
spirals out of control.
yeah,
and
something
this
didn't
is-
work. But
Yeah.
did I accomplish a couple things
Yeah.
that I wanted to?
Mhm.
And
That's it.
feeling accomplishment from
Mhm.
that. Because the day doesn't always go how you want it to go.
Mhm.
But you have to at least come out of it and go, well,
Yeah.
I got a few things done
Yeah.
today.
For sure. I think too, when it comes to like the practice, and if you're not a pen to paper person, you can always chat GPT this as well. I think again, it's using
40-year-old.
tools. I think it's used, like, you can use AI to help you with it and say,
Yeah.
these are like add in the right prompt. Like, you have to word it correctly, of course, to get the the
Even
response
if you
you're looking
don't
for.
word it correctly, they will keep asking you and
They
challenging
will,
you.
yes,
So,
you
I've
will.
learned that. It's
I've
like, well, what
yes.
is it you really want?
That's it. You can finesse to
Yes.
chat GPT will finesse it to how much you
Yeah.
want. But again, it's just like, I mean, I use it too for strategy as well. I use it too
Mhm.
just
Good
to
idea.
do research or whatnot, right? So it's really asking yourself, yes, I want this. I hope to have this, but really, how much do you really want it though?
Yeah.
Yes.
Is this
Yeah,
what's going to
because
get you
Yeah, you
out
can
of
have
bed
all the
to do
strategy
it?
in the world. If you don't put it
100%.
into action, it
That's
means
it.
nothing.
Yeah.
So,
That's
you
it.
know,
Yeah. And I just think too, like, it can be simple or it can be, massive in your life too, whatever changes it's going to make. But maybe a tool like Chat GPT or Gronk or whatever you
Right.
use, right?
Yeah.
You could prompt it and it could help you with just implementing little things, right? It's like, living in Canada, going through seasonal depression. And for me, it's like, okay, I got to get a strategy together myself
Mhm.
for this. I'm not going to hope for it to
Yeah.
that I'm going to
that-
be okay, right? Like, I'm not going
Yeah.
to hope that. I'm going to figure it out. So I asked, do some research for me. What can I do? What are some actual tangible habits I can do every single day? And a lot of it is stuff I didn't think about, right? Or like,
Mhm.
when we talk about overhead lighting, well, that apparently for seasonal depression, you should remove overhead lighting. You should just have lamps, like have more of a
Interesting.
cozy vibe at home. Like, it's all stuff that, like, it sounds probably trivial, but it's the truth
Oh,
though when
no,
you think
it's
about it.
real.
Yeah.
It's real. Or if you work in a corporate office, like, what should you do? How can you, where there's a lot of people going back to the office now
Yeah.
4 days a week or
Yes.
5 days a week in Ontario. Like, you need a plan of how you're going to go from hybrid work to now 4 or 5 days in the office. Like, that's going to be a massive disruption. And I can only imagine if you're a parent. So again, it's like there is tools to help you with strategies if you ask the right questions and if you know yourself enough to be honest with yourself.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
agree.
Well, I have a 7-year-old question for you girls that tell me I should use notes on my phone. I write everything down because one of the biggest satisfactions to me, and I still do it today. I mean, at noon, it's like, well, what can I cross? It's the action of crossing off. So
It's a
how do
good
you do
feeling.
that on your phone and your notes? Do you delete stuff?
I do
I-
delete stuff.
Oh,
Yeah.
then you don't know what you've done.
Oh, I know what I've done. I know
So,
what I've done. I
That
know what
pen
I've
and
done.
paper,
Yeah,
I
for
don't know.
sure.
There's something about it. Oh, you make me laugh.
I don't think it
know what I've
matters.
done.
Yeah, I don't think it matters
Yeah.
how you do it. I
Yeah.
think,
No,
you know,
I'm
it's
teasing.
still a
Mhm.
strategy, right?
Yes.
You had a strategy. You had a strategy to
I mean,
start.
yeah, like deleting things, it feels great, right? I mean, because
yes,
like
I
if you,
guess.
yeah,
Yeah.
if you have a, like, if you have a Microsoft laptop or that has like sticky notes, like where you can like put the sticky note to your
Yeah.
computer,
Yes.
I'll just put my to-do list
Yes.
there, but I'll have
Yeah.
different categories or whatever. And then I, whenever it's kind of like my crossing out, I just delete it.
Yeah.
And it feels
okay.
great.
Okay. I believe you. I'm going to
It's
try
off.
it.
And, like I
I'm gonna
delete it and
try
I'm like, it's off. It's great. It's off my
Okay.
list. It's
I'm going
great.
to try it.
Yeah. You guys are funny. But I think the summary of this is have a plan.
Yeah.
At least have a start, a middle, a finish, know where you're headed. Get it however you want to do pen to paper or
Yeah.
however you want to do it. But
Yeah.
just remember that, getting anywhere is not just hope.
Yep.
You've got to have a strategy in order to do it.
Absolutely.
It's great.
Perfect.
Great.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks, Linda. That was great. I love
Linda,
your
that was
That's my
show.
mantra.
I
Hope
love
it's
your
not a strategy.
Yeah.
Okay. Can't wait to hear yours.
Okay.
All right. Stay tuned.
Bye.
Bye, guys.